All right, so I've hit a milestone a bit with this little project I'm working on. I'm scanning my whole, or I'm hoping to, scan my whole big box collection into 3D, and I've hit 200 games now, if you look at my little stats here, and all the different box types. And I'm at a point now where I don't know if I can optimize this anymore, you know? So let me just talk about kind of the optimizations I'm talking about. So I'm using Three.JS to render this all, using React 3 Fiber, along with React Spring for the animations, and it works pretty well. I mean, it's pretty goddamn smooth. It's less smooth on mobile, just because the GPU isn't as good, but, you know, for what it is, it's pretty good. But, like, I think, and it works really well. Like, if I go to, like, MTK, I can rotate this around, all the way around, ignore that bug where they pop out over there. Around. I can open up the gatefold if I double click, pretty dope. And I can close it back up and I can put it right back. And I can just keep doing this infinitely. Oh, Roller Coaster Tycoon. Well, it doesn't have a gatefold, or does it? Yes, it does. I'm pretty sure the expansions don't, though. No. I could just talk about games all day. But let me just talk about how this works. So each of these boxes is a React component using Three.JS Fiber. And so everything pretty much shares the same functions, everything shares the same animation triggers, and it works pretty smoothly, all things considered. Now, there's a lot of caveats with that. There's a lot of tricks that I have to do to optimize. So for example, everything is facing with the right side of the box, I mean, unless it's front facing, the right side of the box facing towards the camera, right where I am, which means you never see the left side, and technically you never see the bottom either. So I just cull those out unless you're in this, and then it puts them in. So there's a lot of things like that. Same with this. For the front facing boxes, which are random in terms of what's front and what's not, I just let it choose. I don't render the back because you'll never see the back, and it saves a whole texture load. And same with the bottom. I never see the bottom, so it just saves a whole texture load. So that's the textures, I think, is what kills the performance in most cases, because honestly, we're rendering cubes, right? Cubes, in terms of 3D, cubes is the most primitive thing you can get. And this is all just cubes. I'm not going to render the little crinkles of the boxes being imperfect or stuff like that, because some of these are awful, and not awful, but they're not great condition in real life. Like if I take Solar Winds, you can kind of see the scan took some of the crinkle. I'm not going to render that. I'm just going to leave that as is, but it's good. So, and then when you get into boxes that have a gatefold, let's take Half-Life. Oops. Let's take Half-Life. And you can do this. Oh man, Gordon Freeman running around from the head crabs. This gate, I learned that, so how I do this is this right here is a cube, right? It's a 3D cube. So is this. This is also a cube, right? Because it's technically just a very thin cube in comparison, right? So I had to think about that and be like, well, how do I do this? How do I optimize this? Because actually Half-Life is a bad example, because you always have to see this. Okay, let me get a better example. A better example is Red Alert 2. Yeah, okay. So Red Alert 2 has a gatefold, right? But in this case, the gatefold hides the entire inside, right? So what I thought was, well, okay, so if you're just on the shelf, you don't even know a gatefold's there. So I'm just gonna not even render the gatefold part, and I'm just gonna, when you click on it, it creates the cube on top and switches the texture. So, because if you think about it, technically, this is the front of the box. Right? Not this. This is the front of the box. So what I do is I make the gatefold front the front of this texture when it's in this position, and then when you click on it, we switch the cube in front and switch the texture around. So now this is the front and this is the real front. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is it saves a whole draw call, because I don't have to render a cube on top. And if you times that by 200, well, how many gatefold boxes do I have? 54 games, you save 54 cubes, which is, what, 12 triangles, and that 12 triangles each, and that adds up a lot. So anyways, that was a bit of a side tangent, but this is the kinds of things I had to work out, right? Where it's just like, how do I solve this? How do I have less textures? Or okay, similar thing. I can't even really showcase this, but stop doing that. If a game, let's say these Sims boxes, right? So the House Party expansion pack, we can't see the front texture or the back texture because the boxes around it are just bigger. Like it's bigger than the width and the height of the box. So what I do is, in this case, I do a check, like if the box in front of it is higher or bigger than the box, then I flag it to only load the front if you hover over it. So that texture is loaded while I was hovering over it. It didn't load if it was just like this. I mean, it's loaded now. Same with this one. And these just get loaded like as is, like lazy loading, as it were. So I don't know. I've done so much to optimize this at this point that I'm just ready to go like, all right, guys, it's cool. I don't know what I can do anymore. If once I keep going, it's going to get slower, maybe not, because the amount of culling that also happens in the frustrum culling. Okay, you know what? Side tangent again. Can we just talk about this Wheel of Time box? Did you see that? Did you see that? It opens from behind. Like, that's not me. That's the box. I can bring it out and show you on camera. What the hell is this? So I had to have a whole separate thing to be like, oh, if you're, what is this? I have it set here. A box with a back gatefold. We only have one of those so far. Like, why even have this? I mean, this could be its own, showcase episode in my YouTube channel, I guess. But it's a bit much. Or, I've had to deal with code with trapezoid boxes for all these IDOS ones, because I had to think about it, and I was like, well, they're all the same size. Like, so I just could ignore that the textures aren't perfectly aligned. I'll fix that, but they're all the same size. So what I had to do was make a custom geometry of a trapezoid box, and it works pretty well. I'm not super. Actually, the textures on the back look pretty good, but that was like a weekend project to get that working, and it flips up just like you would expect, and you can look around and close it back up. Like, that all works. So really happy with that. I really hope I don't run into weirder boxes. But yeah, what else can you do? You can do a search. So let's say if I searched for day of the tentacle, I can go right to it. While you're searching, I don't know if you noticed, but it'll actually pull out the boxes as your search results. So if I go day, see how they're going? They're filtering out day of, now only these two are, what else can you do? If you look up this, you can go toggle more info. You can kind of get, because I'm literally recording the dimensions of the boxes, so they actually get rendered properly. I also list if they're found on platforms still, because I have a little of a thing here where it's like I have 67 titles that are technically abandonware. And by abandonware, I mean not on Steam or Good Old Games, because, I don't know, technically you can get some stuff on Blizzard and stuff, but I consider like Good Old Games or Steam like the quote-unquote DRM free-ish platforms. I don't really care for Battle.net or Origin or what Uplay. What is it called? Ubisoft Connect now? I don't know what it's called. But yeah, so I don't really, or Epic, I guess. So, like Unreal Tournament's just nowhere right now. So technically they're just all just gone. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I've been working on the past couple months. I'm at 200 boxes. So if you times that by 6 side box minimum, some of them have 8 because the gatefold, that's 1,200 and change scans I had to do so far. So I don't know. Send me some love in the comments. Let me know what you think. You can go visit it at bigboxdb.com. I have music track for, it's just the Commander Key music down there, this little speaker icon. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, how performance works for you, because you know what, don't tell me about that, because I don't know what else I can do at this point. So anyways, that's it. Bye-bye.